Due to policies involving YouTube and COPPA, this disclaimer is to inform you that this video is not for YouTubers under 17. Viewer discretion advised. Thank you. Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. So, people talk about how the white feminist has oppressed black people. As a matter of fact, that's what the title of this article is. The title of this article is called How White Feminists Oppress Black Women When Feminism Functions as White Supremacy. And you can see they use a front, stand up for equality, women's rights, but in reality, it was originally meant to trick black women into going against black men, divide the community, and create a gender war to destroy the black community. At the same time, white women wanted to use it for themselves so that they can have equal power just like their male counterparts, white men. Because even they felt like that the white men in their community wasn't giving them enough, that they were just as powerful as the white men. So it was really all about power, not about equality. It was all about power. And they had to use women from other groups for numbers and also to destroy other communities by having men and women in the other communities, especially the black community, to fight each other by finding a way to use the feminist movement to not destroy the white community completely. That's the same as what a white guy tried to do, similar to the feminists, with a thing called MGTOW. That was when men, starting with white men, felt that they were losing their power, so they wanted to do this all-man thing to get men back on top, especially white men. And they even had some black men get involved with MGTOW, which, by the way, that stands for Men Go Their Own Way. And that also did exactly what the feminist movement also did. Try to also divide gender, because you see a lot of men black men use the MGTOW movement to attack black women. And I do not like that. That's what your feminist movements and your MGTOW and other men only or women only movements do. They use the front of we need to empower us as men, blah, blah, or as women, blah, blah, blah. But it's also being used to divide communities by gender, which can destroy a community. But right now, we're going to talk about a little off topic, but I just needed to bring that up. But now we're going to talk about the feminist movement. See, the feminist movement were among the first to try to divide people by gender and communities. And now we're going to read, this article is from Charana.net from Monica T. Williams, PhD, ABPB. This was earlier, this was last year from January of last year. I know it's 2020, but this needs to be talked about. In November, I participated in a panel, this is probably her, discussing at a psychological conference in Washington, D.C. The name of the panel was Being a Mentor in the Era of Me Too, which seemed, oh, by the way, that's what the feminist movement also created, the Me Too movement. Them and Tarana Burke. This is also being used to destroy the black community, by the way. The Me Too movement. That's why I hate the Me Too movement. Which seemed extremely timely given the spat of powerful people recently felled by the revelations of sexual wrongdoing. As the only person of color on the panel, that's what they said, I wanted to make sure to mention some of the issues around this movement that singularly impacted people of color. The Me Too movement included a responsibility for privileged women to stop victimizing men of color. It's been only victimizing black men, many of whom had been lynched, beaten, incarcerated, and electrocuted on the false whispers of a white woman. Yes, that's exactly what the Me Too movement, and it's mostly targeting black men. The Me Too movement is targeting black men. It should have said black men, because that's who's been targeted the heaviest. They had that Indian person be affected by the Me Too movement, but they defended him from the full effects. They mainly were around to just only destroy black men. And it was created by someone who had self-hate along with these racist white feminists. And yes, the Me Too movement is doing exactly what happened before, during, and even before the Civil Rights movement. Whenever a white woman said that a black person did something wrong, they target, and even if it was not true, the black person was targeted and hung and lynched and killed and beaten and raped, and yeah, that happened, stabbed and shot and, like I said, killed, murdered, or disappeared because of a lie from a racist white female. And that's exactly what the Me Too movement is. Only it's using white women, and it's even using some black women, especially black women who have self-hate. Not all black women, because there are some black women who are against this Me Too, because they know the impact of the entire black community is being affected in a negative way. But there are black women who have self-hate against the black community and are willing to join in because they hate black men, or they hate the black community entirely and don't care if it gets destroyed or not, even though it will affect them eventually. And they believe that the Me Too is going to get them something out of it. That is who's also been using the Me Too movement to destroy the black community. Now I'm going back to this. I have recently reported a member of our research team who ended up in such a predicament, and so this point felt particularly real for me at the moment. As I shared my observations and convictions, this is what the article says, I was abruptly cut off by the moderator, a senior Academy white feminist. Yeah, because she doesn't want you to talk about this stuff. That white feminist, probably a racist, who hates black people or other non-white people, probably knew that you was bringing up something that the white racist feminists do not want you to bring up, and that's why they cut off your mic. The mic was taken from me, a woman of color. Now, if this is a black woman, I would prefer that she said a black woman, but I'm just going by the article. And handed to a white woman who had her own personal story of oppression to share. See, when the whole feminist movement was also created, it was because white women thought they were the most oppressed, even by the white men. No, what it really was they felt that if more non-white people got more power, even over white women, that white women, racist women, those in the feminist movement, thought that they were starting to lose power because they also were jealous of black women. The white feminist movement saw that black women were more involved with the black men, were more connected with black men. See, in the black community, the men and women of the black community are more connected, or more in an equal more equal to each other than any other community. Did y'all notice that? You don't hear stories about the black man, or at least of old times, ever treated the black woman as second class in Africa, or he treated her. Yeah, there was some things that black men wanted to only let them do, and same with the women, but they weren't like abusing them, like what the Asians and the Arabs and the white people were doing. See, you had the Arabs. You had heard stories of how Arab men abused the Arab woman with Sharia law and stuff, and how the Asian men were abusing Asian women using the one drop rule. Or if you saw movies like Mulan, how women were not allowed to join the military. Yet in Africa, there were female warriors who fought for Africa, who even ruled kingdoms in Africa. Asia, the women weren't allowed to do that. Same with in the Arab world. And definitely not in the white world. In the world of Europe, the men wanted to make sure they were the only ones that were in ruling class. So when the feminist news was starting, and even before that with the women's thing with Susan B. Anthony and stuff like that, they were kind of jealous of black women. So any black woman who's watching this video, white racist females are jealous of you black women for that. They saw how the black family was the most connected family at one time in history. So Gloria Steinem and all of them, from Susan B. Anthony to Gloria Steinem and all of them, saw that and were jealous. So they worked with racist groups, the CIA even, as rumored, and said, we're going to create something and we're going to get black women to join them in a way to destroy the black family and destroy the black community entirely. But we're going to do it in the front of women's equality. We're going to pretend that the white women were going to pretend that they had a big issue with some of the oppression by white men, and they're going to try to use women of other communities as a front to portray their own men and stuff like that. And then also at the same time, some of the white women, if they saw a successful black man, they were going to take that black man, make that black man hate the black woman, and then that white woman who wants the money from that black man, they'll try to take that. You notice that's why you see a lot of interracial relationships with black men and white women, and also at the same time, black women with white men. See, the interracial agenda also started with the feminist movement and the Loving versus Virginia case combined to create the swirling movement. So yeah. This thing right there. Now back to this article. I was silenced. So yeah, that's another thing. If you, a black woman, is against some of the things, if you feel like the feminist movement is not helping you with your issues. See, the white feminist movement was only about helping white females. It wasn't about helping other females, especially not black females. If black females brought up their own issues, they were silenced. And that's what this woman is saying, that she was silenced. I was silenced, what she said. I'm uncomfortable. My uncomfortable words forgotten, and I became irrelevant at the podium. The moderator affirmed her long life committed to feminist ideas while I was shamed into submission. This is white feminism. That's exactly right. See, to black people, to the black women who are watching this, and this is not to go against you. This is not to go against you, but you need to hear this. When some of you joined the feminist movement, the only reason why they let you join was because they needed the numbers. But it was really about helping the power status of white females. They did it in the front of women's equality, women getting more businesses, women getting more rights. But it was really just about white racist females trying to get more power, or as equally as much power, or even more power as white men. Because still to this day, white men are the majority of the business owners and politicians and other men of power, unfortunately. And the white females wanted, or the white racist females, wanted that. So that's why they created the feminist movement. But also they figured this could be a way to cause negative tension between women of other communities and men of other communities as well. Especially the one they thought was a bigger threat to the white community, the black community. But when you are in trouble, when you are trying to fight against racism and trying to fight on the behalf of your community and not your gender, the white racist female in the feminist movement will try to silence you and say you need to only be focused on feminist things, not about your racial community. And that is what feminism is doing. Understanding white feminism. It is a racist ideology that claims to speak for our women while ignoring the needs of women of color and suppressing our voices. That's exactly what they were doing. The feminist movement was only about helping white females. And I know there's going to be some of them and some traitorous Sambos or black traitors who will defend these white racist females that will probably try to come to my comment section, try to shut this video down or my channel, and because they're mad about what this article and myself is talking about. But this is the truth. True feminism has the power to transform society. Yeah, if you was really about female equality for all females, then you should deal with the issues that all females went through, and also not just help only white females, but also black females' issues, not just by what was going on by gender, but also fix the racist issues, economic issues, political issues. Everything is not just only about gender. There's other big problems like race issues and other political issues. And if you was truly about feminism, for women's rights, you should have just try to use it to really just make sure that women are treated better, not try to just gain power at the same time try to destroy communities using gender and stuff like that. Because that's what feminism has unfortunately do. And it says it right here. But too often, what is advancement as feminists is actually white supremacy in disguise. Exactly. Look what's happening now. That Me Too movement is an example. Notice even when they talk about white men like Harvey Weinstein, he ain't going to jail, but they made sure Bill Cosby went to jail even if he was proven innocent. But people like Harvey Weinstein who have proven guilty are still out out of jail. Notice they're only going has since and Harvey Superboy. Shout out to Harvey Superboy from Your World, Your View. Shout out to him. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. It will say Your World, and they'll have the icon that says Your World, Your Void. That's his channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. But even he and Sean James and others here on social media have talked about this. The racist who are white females use the feminist movement, and I mentioned this earlier in the video. It was only meant to empower them, not all women, and it was supposed to help them. It was supposed to help white females, especially the racist ones, to gain more power, or to gain more power, because they didn't think that that even the white man was not giving them power, which was true, but still. And then they wanted you, and then those who are in other communities, especially the black community, they only used you for the numbers. But then when the black woman needed help with something like against racism and against the white man and stuff like that, the white female would not go against her man when it was a racist issue going on. A counterfeit we sometimes call white feminism. White feminism exists to promote the comfort and safety of middle class and affluent white women. At its core, it is a racial ideological that sorry about that if I pronounced that wrong. The ideologue that claims to speak for all women while ignoring the needs of women of color and suppressing our voices. Well, that's what's said over here. When our agendas and priorities don't align, it's recognize the voice of women of color only to further its own aims and appears inclusive. Adrento 2006. Its organizational representations fail to properly address racial and economic intersectionality and experiences of sexism. It rejects the idea that women can oppress others who are disempowered, and doing so replicates the harmful unacknowledged society dynamic of the primacy of well-educated white voices. I guess what it's saying is women can oppress other women too, especially racist white females oppressing black women. But yet the feminist movement will not address that. Just like when it will not address when a black female is being beat up in a parking lot by a white racist male, which was shown recently last year, I think it was during the summer, on camera. And yes, I thought those men that recorded should have tried to go over there and try to help or get the police involved, not just record it and just stand there and do nothing. But yeah, and what's another one? Or if young women are being tricked into sexual acts by a white racist DJ who has a sexually transmitted disease, DJ Kid. Notice the feminist movement does not go in and attack those white men who committed such dangerous acts. What DJ Kid did to those underage girls was criminal. Yeah, there were some black women who willingly participated or did not know, even though they willingly participated, did not know that he had the disease because he wouldn't tell them. you also had underage girls who was being forced, which I found out, yeah, that you had underage girls, and I heard that a black woman was helping DJ Kid. You had some of those victims were underage girls that were being forced to do sexual favors for that guy. What's another example? When black mothers are crying that their children, their black sons, are being killed by the police or other racists. Notice the white feminist movement or other members of the feminist movement are not coming in to help those women. But I thought the feminist movement was about equality for all women and stuff like that, or helping women's issues. Shouldn't racism be a women's issue too? Because racism has affected a lot of non-white females, especially black females, have been the biggest victims of racism. They have been black females have been the biggest victims of racism. But the white feminists or other feminists or the black feminists who are self-hating don't come in to help those black women. In fact, some of those white feminists enjoy their men because deep down they're still have that racist mindset and such and such. As a researcher and educator, and I have seen white feminism at work, nearly every facet of my career. My current research areas include mental health, dispatchers, racism and discrimination, trauma, oppression, complex disorder, and the image field of psychedelic medicine. In the psychedelic world, I am repeatedly expected to give talks nationwide at my own expense, and even though I have conducted multiple research studies, written books, and published dozens of articles on the top journals, I find it interesting to have virtual no white women faculty collaborations, white women friends, a few supporters, many junior colleagues, several, but collaborators none. Those same women who applaud the advance of women in academics will not collaborate, share mutual resources, or celebrate the achievements of a black female. Further, I have many white female graduate students and clinical trainees chap against having to answer to black women in female administration frequently ignore or undermine my needs. I'm not going to read too much of the article, but yeah, that's the thing. So, like I said before, and to whoever wrote this article, the white racist females only use the feminist movement to empower them. It was never meant to empower every woman, especially not the black woman. It was to trick the black woman to joining in, and then the white woman will whisper in the air, not only you should go after against your man to make sure your man not press you, when in actual reality, they wanted black women, and that excludes those who are watching, to attack black men like myself and cause a gender war because they were jealous of our unity. You see, the white female, the white racist female, the white racist male is not as united as you think. But the white men make sure that their women get on code when something goes on outside of their community, like if a black man or black woman tries to fight against racism. But then, when they're only focusing on what's going on in the white community alone without worrying about things outside of the white community, you see a lot of white racist men and white racist females have issues within their own backyard. But they're not going, and when they use feminism, it was, like I said, it was only meant to help white females. They not going to talk about black female issues outside of dealing with men, well, dealing with black men. They're not going to talk about, let's see right here, black women are dying for childbirth. White feminists don't care about that. The only time they care about a black woman is if a black woman is fighting a black man. Which, us as black people, we gotta stop getting into that gender war situation. That gender war situation is destroying our community. See, and right here, this is talking about the Me Too movement and stuff like that. I probably should have done a live stream of this. I might still, for those who missed this video. Yeah, right here, this talks about the Me Too movement. While failing to acknowledge how white women have historically and currently used their sexuality to oppress men of color, and particularly black men. The Me Too movement is being used to pull an Emmett Till on all black men. Emmett Till, and by the way, Emmett Till was the African American boy who was lynched for messing with Carol Bryant, a white woman who lied about Emmett Till messing with her, and that boy got killed by those racist white men, including Carol Bryant's husband. And they got off, which led to the civil rights movement. And the Me Too is doing the same thing that Carol Bryant did to Emmett Till. Different ways, though, but it's similar to what Emmett Till dealt with when Carol Bryant lied. Just like the two white women who lied that led to the destruction of Oklahoma, Greenswood, Oklahoma, also known as Tulsa, Black Wall Street, and then you had the Rosewood incident in Florida, also caused by a white lie. Guess what? They're doing the similar thing. What those three incidents are doing is exactly what the Me Too and Time's Up movement is doing. Using women's sexual body to trick black or to hurt black men, and to cause further divide between black men and black women. They'll also, though only this time, the white women will also use traitorous black women who are against the black community to join in, like Tarana Burke and Oprah and Gayle King. Because they know that if it was only white women targeting black men with the Me Too movement, then they would have already caught on the racism. So they disguise it using some traitorous black women to do it. So black women, if you're watching this video, do not fall for the trickery of the Me Too movement and the feminist movement. This article is kind of too long. This was probably something I should have done this live stream. And I might go back to this article for those who may have missed out on seeing this if I decide to do a live stream. If not, then I just don't. Because this was probably, yeah. But I will leave the link to this article if you want to read the whole article on your own time. I'll leave the link to it in the description box and comment section. But I want to know what you think, what I've just only read of the article, what you think about this situation, and also should I do a live stream or not about this. But yeah, this shows you right here that the white feminist movement was only used as a white supremacist tactic to oppress black women and also use them to destroy the black community. But like I said, leave your comment in the comment section. Make sure you like the video, share this video, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification button. Also, I'll leave links to the different accounts that I have on YouTube, Black Junction, Black Shares, etc. So y'all can follow me whenever I do videos and post. But that's all I have to say for now. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in another video. Peace, everyone.